She pushed her son into the surgeon's sunny waiting room and settled into a seat beside me. She was maybe in her 80s, I was in my 50s. And she chatted at me, pleasant and relaxed, about her son who sat beside her in a wheelchair. He was about my age. He had one leg. She felt too close in those awkward waiting room chairs. I tried to ignore her and read the book in my hands, Mighty Be Our Powers, How Sisterhood, Prayer, and Sex Changed a Nation at War. It was written by an African Nobel Peace Prize winner. During times of personal calamity, I tend to gravitate toward a genre that might be known as women who are braver than I during times that are worse than mine. The woman beside me continued her pleasant chatter, and I continued to ignore her. Can she not see I am reading? Besides, I don't belong in a surgeon's waiting room. I cannot have cancer. It's all a terrible mistake. Well, she said, I tried to tell him this morning, and she proceeded to tell me more about her son than I wanted to know. Why didn't this annoying woman sit beside Dwayne? My husband and ministry partner is famously friendly. The voice inside me roared. I exercise. I take the stairs. I walk. I work. I garden. This is a terrible mistake. I don't belong here. How can I have cancer? I looked up from my book and around Dr. Tulip's office at the other patients in the waiting room. Most of them appeared to me to be missing a piece of their bodies. Everyone else seemed to be a generation older than me, accompanied by someone my age. I clenched my teeth. I do not belong here. These days of shelter in place can feel as if we're trapped in an endless waiting room. We don't belong here, but we're stuck. How long will we be here? How did we get here? When can we go? And if our name is called, will the news be worse than the waiting? Piece of gum? She asked. The woman beside me in the waiting room reached into her tiny, stylish purse, lay in her lap, and she pulled out a pack of gum. I always keep gum in my purse for my grands, she said. Oh, you have grandchildren? I asked, taking the piece of gum. Oh, yes, and great-grands, she said. How nice for you, I said without emotion. I didn't tell her I also had grandchildren. I didn't want to identify with any of these people, no matter how kind they were. I turned back to my book, chewing a piece of gum. This is all a terrible mistake. I cannot have cancer. I am not a sick woman. In the months of cancer treatment that followed, I became a sick woman in an attempt to stay alive. I never learned to enjoy the waiting rooms to which I surrendered almost every day for months. But every time after that encounter with the woman, I kept gum in my bag with my book. I figured somebody sitting beside me in the radiologist or the oncologist waiting room might need a piece of gum because maybe they didn't belong there either. We God followers have become accustomed to waiting. It's a part of our spiritual DNA. And we've also learned to watch for unexpected grace along the way. Psalm 84:6 in the Message says, they wind through lonesome valleys, come upon brooks, discover cool springs and pools brimming with rain. What am I to take from these times? I asked spiritual director Wendy Miller. She asked me a question. What are you being given during these times? I'm Elaine, and I'm looking for loose change